This episode is brought to you by Google Gemini. With the Gemini app, you can talk live and have a real-time conversation with an AI assistant. It's great for all kinds of things, like if you want to practice for an upcoming interview, ask for advice on things to do in a new city, or brainstorm creative ideas. And by the way, this script was actually read by Gemini. Download the Gemini app for iOS and Android today. Must be 18 plus to use Gemini Live.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
This is Optimal Relationships Daily. The 11 Life Lessons It Turns Out I've Taught My 6 Kids by Leo Babauta of ZenHabits.net. On my 46th birthday recently, my mostly adult kids wrote out a list of lessons I'd taught each of them in their lives so far. Each wrote their own list, and my wife Eva sweetly put them together in a notebook. As I read through them, I felt like crying. It's so incredibly touching that they appreciate what I've been trying to pass on to them, things I've been learning and want them to understand. As a father, there are few things more meaningful than to see how you've helped your kids through your example and talks over the years. We have a mixed family of 6 kids, aging from 13 years old to 26 years, and all of them are wonderful human beings. It turns out there were some lessons that all or most of the kids put on their list, which I'm going to share with you here. These lessons they had in common made me wonder if these were the more powerful lessons, or if they were simply the ones I talked about the most. So, here they are, roughly ordered in how frequently they showed up on my kids' lists. Number 1. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, and it's okay to fail. This was tied with the next one as the most common lesson on their lists. It made all their lists, I think. I really love that this lesson hit home with them. Number 2. Have empathy and try to see things from others' perspectives. This was the other lesson on all their lists, and again, it's beautiful that they all took this to heart. I've tried to show them this through my actions, though of course, I'm not at all perfect. Number 3. Push out of your comfort zone. This is another one I've tried to teach by example, from running several marathons and an ultramarathon to doing things that scare me, like speaking on stage or writing books. This lesson is so important to me. Number 4. Don't spend more than you have. This is such a simple idea, but one that is rarely followed. I'm glad my kids are starting out with this mindset. Live within your means, save as much as you can. Number 5. Appreciate what you have and enjoy where you are right now. I love this one. It's something that I try to embody, but also remind them when they are thinking about what they don't have. Each time we're stuck in complaint, it's an opportunity to wake up to the beauty that's in front of us. Number 6. Sadness is a part of life, and there's nothing wrong with feeling it. Despite what I said in the previous item, it's okay to feel sadness, pain, grief, frustration, anxiety, anger. In fact, most of us never want to feel those things, so we'll do whatever we can to ignore them or get away from the feelings. Instead, I try to actually feel those things as an experience. It teaches me about struggle. If we're not willing to face our own struggles, how can we be there for others when they struggle? Number 7. Don't give up just because something gets hard. As new adults, our 4 oldest kids are facing various struggles in new ways. This is part of growth, of course, but struggles never feel good. My job as dad has been to encourage them not to give up just because it's hard, to keep going, and to use the struggle to grow. Number 8. But don't overwork yourself. That said, I am not a fan of overwork. I believe the brain doesn't function well if you keep studying or working past the point of exhaustion. So, I try to teach them about taking breaks, resting, going outside, and moving. Number 9. It's okay to be weird in public. Have fun. I'm not sure why several of them had this on their list. They must have learned to be weird from someone else. Okay, in truth, they may have gotten it from my tendency to dance and skip with them while we're walking around in a city, or to encourage us all to do weird things as a group, no matter what other people might think. Number 10. Your reality is a reflection of the narrative you tell yourself. This is something I learned late in life, and I'm glad my kids are learning this. The good news is that you can learn to drop that narrative if it leads to suffering. What would this moment be like without a narrative? Beautiful and free. Number 11. Make people laugh. It makes their day brighter. I'm so happy they picked up this important lesson from me. With my kids, I'm mostly always joking, except for when I get too serious about teaching them an important lesson. The rest of the time, I try to take a lighthearted approach. I love my kids with all my heart, and it has been a privilege to be their dad. I take 10% of the credit and give the rest to their moms, grandparents, and themselves. Also, from them, I've learned some lessons that are just as important. Number 1, kids deserve to be heard, to be listened to be respected. I started out as a dad with the idea that what I say goes, and they just need to listen to me. But over the years, I've learned to listen to them and treat them as I'd want to be treated. Number 2, kids have tender hearts that hurt when you aren't kind to them. As a young dad, my frustrations and insecurities led me to angry bursts of scolding, yelling, spanking. I've grown since then, but most importantly, I've learned to see the tenderness of their hearts and how it hurts to be yelled at by someone they trust and love so much. I am much more gentle with those hearts these days. Number 3, I should relax and not take myself so seriously. Whenever I think too much of myself, my kids humble me. Whenever I get too serious, my kids laugh at me. I love that playful reminder to loosen up. Number 4, dads are goofy, dorky, uncool. And that's how we should be. I sometimes harbor the notion that I can be a cool dad. When I try to break out newish slang or reference a meme, my kids will tease me about it. When I break out a joke or pun that I think is hilarious, they'll laugh while rolling their eyes and calling it a dad joke. So I've learned to just embrace my uncoolness and be myself with them. Number 5, all they need is love. There are lots of things to stress out about as parents, and nowadays we tend to obsess about getting everything right with our kids. But really, we're stressing about it too much. All the details are just details. There's only one thing that really matters. They want you to love them and to receive their love. That's all. Feed them, clothe them, shelter them, educate them, sure. But beyond that, they just want you to love them. Drop everything that gets in the way of that and let it come out as simply and clearly as you can. You just listened to the post titled, "The 11 Life Lessons It Turns Out I've Taught My 6 Kids" by Leo Babauta of zenhabits.net.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. There's nothing sweeter than baking cookies during the holidays. With Prime, I get all my ingredients delivered right to my door, fast and free, no last-minute store trips needed. And of course, I blast my favorite holiday playlist on Amazon Music. It's the ultimate soundtrack for creating unforgettable memories. From streaming to shopping, it's on Prime. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to get more out of whatever you're into.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud. Help! Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
Now, I absolutely loved this read today from Leo, and wow, I mean, imagine having kids that actually take the time to reflect on and acknowledge the life lessons that their parents taught them. Such a privilege as a parent. I love everything that he's passed on to his children, as well as what they've taught him. If I might expand on just one, though, it would be number 6, about embracing sadness. I feel this is extremely pertinent right now, and it goes beyond sadness, really. It can be any unpleasant feeling, jealousy, boredom, dissatisfaction, etc. Though we all might agree and tell others that it's okay to feel these things, this is not often a truth that we live by. And unfortunately, those who are interested in self-development are highly susceptible to fall victim to it. Surely there are many people in this industry sharing conflicting messages, and the sad reality is that many of the most popular influencers try to hype people up with phrases like, no time for weakness, always be confident, find success at all costs, drop your limiting beliefs. These are all pretty bad attempts at motivation, but they are appetizing enough to get us to believe in them from time to time, because they are offering us a sense of possibility that you can quickly transport yourself out of a negative state of mind. Just know that making true progress is a long and worthy journey, and it's much harder if you're looking for shortcuts and not honoring each stage that you're at along the way. So pinpoint your bad feelings, accept them, explore them, and they will gradually lose their power. That's my spiel. That is enough out of me, though. I'm going to get out of your hair and let you go enjoy this weekend. I thank you for being here all week, my friends. Go get some R&R these next few days, and be sure to come back tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.